What's up, you guys? This is Adam Gillespie with Rancid and Sweaty Calves, and I will be considered your personal Peter Pan for the time being as we read through this article about Disney's Peter Pan and Wendy. Director defends decision to add girls to the Lost Boys. Movies should be for everyone. Now, before I get started, what I'm going to tell you guys is that in 2016, the school that I went to put on a Peter Pan play called Neverland, written by our wonderful drama director, written by the wonderful, wonderful play director that we had, and it was in service of charity work. It was meant to build up enough extra cash to help a person who is dealing with some brain cancer overcome that. I will allow that person to remain nameless because I don't necessarily have the go-ahead or the say-so from the family to release that information publicly, and I'm not going to ask. But nevertheless, we put this play on, and we put this play on with all the heart and soul that we had. At least I did. I put everything I had into that play, and I may not have been the best, but I did put everything I had into that play. And it was a taxing physical role because of the fact that Peter Pan has to flip around all the time. And it was one of the most magical experiences of my life. And I used the word magical, and it was tremendous. It was tremendous. It was still one of my fondest experiences was playing Peter Pan in the year 2016 on, I believe, May 26th and 27th. I can still remember almost to the date. We had two plays in one day. We had a matinee performance and an evening performance on, I believe, the 27th, and we had the actual first performance on the 26th. Now, I might have the dates wrong. It was, 7 years ago. But I say all this because Peter Pan does hold a special place in my heart. It is one of those movies, it is one of those stories that sticks with you after you truly understand what's going on in the story. And to see the way that Disney's probably going to portray the story is frustrating. Because they're going to make it about politics, they're going to make it about gender identity, and they're going to make it about racial identity. They're going to make it about all these different things that don't need to be a part of this because it's just a good story for kids to learn about the value of growing up, the value of getting older and getting wiser. Offering one of the weakest defenses for Disney's virtue signaling thus far, even by the company's own standards, Peter Pan and Wendy director David Lowery has justified his film's inclusion of the young girls in the ranks of the Lost Boys on the grounds that movies should be for everyone. Lowery spoke to his creative decision during a recent interview given to SFX magazine via CBR. That pretty much tells you everything you need to know. If CBR is involved in propagating some sort of story, you can bet it's going to be liberal-leaning and most likely false. Leaning on the concept of diversity and inclusion to justify his expansion of the Mischief Makers roster, the director said of the change, "Movies should be for everyone, and it doesn't change the movie at all. It's the same story everyone grew up with. Sorry, that glitched out there. It's the same story everyone grew up with," he continued, to each their own, but it's their loss. They're going to miss out on a great movie-going experience. I don't think this movie is even coming out in theaters, so I don't know why he's talking about a great movie-going experience. I'm pretty sure this is going straight to the platform. Straight to the Disney Plus platform. Further, Lowery asserted that despite facing so much criticism over his alterations to the source material, including both his aforementioned addition of female members of the Lost Boys and his tired race swapping of Tinkerbell, he was really excited for kids who get to discover this tale for the first time and for this to be their version of the Lost Boys and Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and Captain Hook and Wendy. The old versions are all going to be there, but for a certain generation. This will be their introduction to the story, and I'm really excited that it will be one they think of when they think of Peter Pan. As seen in its debut trailer, the Lost Boys in Peter Pan and Wendy will feature a number of girls among their ranks, including Birdie, Diana Soy, and the twins Tootie, Skylar Yates, and Rudy, Kelsey Yates, the latter of whom are shown taking offense to Wendy's pointing out the disconnect between the group's name and its membership. However, in an ironic twist attempt by Lowry at forcing female representation actually undercuts the source material's truly empowering explanation behind their absence from the group. Now, he probably goes on to explain what happens and what the actual lore is, but before I read any further, I want you guys to know the female characters. There are no girls in the Lost Boys because girls are considered too smart. Too smart to be in the Lost Boys. See, because boys are too dumb when they start off, and they get lost easy. They fall away, they get pulled out of their cribs, and they go on adventures when they're not advised to. It's ill-advised for them to go. It's this, that, and the other. They get lost because they're boys, and they're not necessarily as wise or as intelligent as the girls. And according to the lore of Peter Pan. And the lost girls... Well, there's no such thing as the lost girls because the girls are too smart to get lost. Let's go ahead and read this. In its original novel, The Little White Bird, Peter Pan creator J.M. Barrie explicitly states that there are no lost girls because infant girls were simply too smart to fall out of their cribs and wander off. Therein, Peter himself explains to Wendy that the lost boys are the children who fall out of their perambulators. Wow, I've never actually heard that word. When the nurse is looking the other way. If they are not claimed in 7 days, they are sent far away to the Neverland to defray expenses. He adds, I'm captain. Met with the reaction of what fun it must be from this new companion, Peter laments in reply, yes, but we are rather lonely. You see, we have no female companionship. Pressed by Wendy as to whether or not none of the others are girls, the almost mythical youth confirms, oh, no girls, are much too clever to fall out of their prams. At present, Peter Pan and Wendy are on a course to land on Disney Plus on April 28th. This movie is going to be terrible. This movie is going to be horrendous. This movie is going to focus on destroying the Peter Pan story and building it up with something new. And it annoys me also because Peter Pan is open market. Peter Pan is not a Disney exclusive ability to produce something. It's free reign. As far as I remember, the creator originally created it so that Peter Pan could be adapted by anybody. And yes, because of that, there are going to be adaptations that are completely and totally disconnected from the source material. But if you want to see a good Peter Pan movie, just go watch the original cartoon or go watch Hook with Robin Williams. It is a fantastic film, and it's a fantastic film about the wonders and adventures of growing up, which is what Peter Pan, the story of Peter Pan has always been about. The wonders of childlike imagination and eventually growing up and taking on the importance of being an adult. That's what Peter Pan's about. Peter Pan is not about race and ethnicity and gender and sexuality and none of that other garbage. It is about the wonders of growing up. Because growing up is what we all have to do eventually. It's why it's such a good story. And it's why this movie's going to flop, because the creators don't understand that. They never will. They never, ever will. They don't understand the basics of storytelling. How could they possibly understand the message of a movie or a story or a book or a cartoon or a TV series, whatever you want to label this as, whatever you want it to be? How could they possibly understand the message of it being grow up? Because it's more important to grow up and be wise and assertive and right and careful and justified in the things that you do than it is to remain a child and to remain childlike. Grow up and learn how to be a wise, intelligent individual. You don't have to let go of the things that you loved as a child, but become mature. That's the beauty of the story of Peter Pan. It's the beauty of that story. It's actually pro getting older. It's pro going on the journey of life. But Disney doesn't know how to do that. Disney's so bad at going on the journey of life that they are literally reaping the corpses of previous stories galore. They are literally taking out stories that were once wonderful, and they are stripping apart all the magic and glory of them and making them into intersectional feminist bullcrap social justice ideology movies. And they keep doing it because they know they've got nothing else better to do, and they have zero creativity, and they never got past the stage of taking things from other people. Disney was based off of taking original stories and creating modified versions of them. That's what Disney was based off of. And they've gotten worse over the years. And it's only going to get worse. And the more that you copy something, the more likelihood there is to be flaws. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Share this video out there with your friends. Hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss a single video, and hit that bell notification icon. And check me out on Rumble and all my different socials. I leave links to those in the description below. I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the week.